it's that time again. Another day for another win. We ain't never gonna relent. We going hard, never giving in. Hey yo, it's time for another one. Yeah, we on another run. We ain't never leaving. The competition, we don't see 'em. This is winning season. This is winning season. Either you rest or you against us. You know it's that time again. Another day for another win. We ain't never gonna relent. We going hard, never giving in. Hey yo, it's time for another one. Yeah, we on another run. We ain't never leaving. The competition, we don't see 'em. This is winning season. This is winning season. This is winning season.
Welcome into Uncaged, live here at Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm Dylan Rivera. Alongside me is head coach Tori Liles of the girls wrestling program. We're excited to have them here in the building. They're off to a flying start this season. Haven't really gotten to wrestle too much here at home. You've been on the road quite a bit, but definitely making headway on the road. Number 2 team nationally. I'm going to say that again so that way everybody in the building can hear that. Number 2 team nationally is a really impressive feat. So I think that deserves a round of applause, by the way. 2025 state champions looking to repeat, and you're well on your way there. First question for you is just to go back to these first few outings for you all of them out of state except for the Edmond North one. So let's walk through those road trips, those flights, those team outings out there. How have they gone for you?
I mean, we've done really well. We actually started at the J Border Wars, and so we did have one. It's always a great tournament. There's good competition there, but a great starting tournament, so we started the season there. And then we ended up at Ironman, which is Ohio. Great tournament. I mean, just a prestigious tournament. It's a nationally ranked tournament. Gets great competition. So we're looking from, our lineup is pretty tough, and so we're trying to get that tougher competition. It's also, we have some freshmen in our lineup, and so they step up to varsity, and their second tournament out of the gate is Ironman, and so it's kind of tough on those kids. And then we went to Wonder Woman in Missouri. We love that tournament. They do a little sponsorship with ELF, which is a cosmetic line, and so the girls are there wrestling, but then in between matches, they're going up and getting their eyes done or their lips done or something. So it's kind of that Beauty and Beast theme, and they love the tournament. Really well ran. It's great. The only thing that we struggle with is some of those tournaments are also on the same date. Like there's a cash tournament here on the 13th, and we love that tournament, and we had to step out of state for a different one. There's the Supergirl tournament here kind of the same time, so we have to sacrifice some of those good tournaments in state, but to go travel to get some of that super tough competition that our girls are looking for. So.
Well, I'm playing wrestling against the top tier across the nation. How do you think that helps you all back here in the Oklahoma scene to fight for state championships?
I think anytime you can get tough competition, right, it's setting you up for success. I think the only drawback sometimes is we're not getting some of those head-to-heads with the Oklahoma teams and the Oklahoma competitors. So the first time you're seeing some of those super tough girls is at regionals. So aside from that, though, anytime we can go out of state and get that tough nationally ranked competition, I think it sets us up for success.
Absolutely. Well, you guys are succeeding so far. First place in the J Border Wars, first place in Iron Woman, first place in Wonder Woman, and then Edmond North just the other night, 75-6 was the final score. So walk me through that one just recently and how that one went for you guys on your home floor.
I mean, first home duel, it was some of our girls' first home duel in our building. Last year, when you run duels, you try to swap one year you're away and then 1 year at home, and we have this beautiful new facility last year, and we had more away duels than we had home duels. So kind of opening up with that home duel for some of our girls, first time to compete in the building. So, I mean, it was great. Our girls, they looked really great yesterday. I know Edmond North has graduated a few and had a couple transfer, and so they're kind of in that rebuilding phase. They still have a couple tough kids. I know some are out on injury, but I mean, overall, our girls looked really good right where they're supposed to be. So.
Yeah, and got Sand Springs tomorrow night, senior night, so we'll talk to some of the girls here later about that and what the emotions are there. But as we look forward, obviously the season starting to get closer to the end with Sand Springs, Bixby, and you're going to Pennsylvania as well, but starting to put a bow on things. Just tell me where your confidence level is at right now in your team as you're nearing the end.
Obviously we're nearing the end, but we're not looking really forward. We try to keep the girls right. We're in the moment. You prepare, right? Your season goes. You're looking to peak at the right time. But like for us next is Sand Springs. So we're focused on who's in front of us next, right? And then next tournament, who's in front of us next. If you start getting ahead of yourself, then I think you start losing sight of doing your job, right? Then you're starting to become outcome-based, and I'm focused on, oh, how is this going to go and how is that going to go? And then there's unnecessary pressure. And I tell our girls all the time, I mean, obviously you want to win or you wouldn't be doing this, but we don't focus on winning. We focus on doing our job, being better than we were yesterday. We actually borrowed a saying from, it's actually a Bushland volleyball team, Coach Culpepper down in Bushland, Texas, and his girls they're constantly saying, nobody cares, work harder. And so each time we compete at a tournament, we do really well, we win, and we come in and we kind of celebrate that day, and then it's like, okay, what's next? So they do really well with that. It's just staying focused, doing your job. Anytime you're the state champ from last year, there's some pressure on you, right? But I think we're using that as to stay disciplined, right? Anytime we come in and we're not as disciplined as we need to be, and it's like, okay, right, that you got a target on you. What are you willing to do? We tell them all the time, what are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to do? So I think it's helpful. Yeah.
My conversation with you earlier this week, you had told me a similar sentiment that you had told me a year ago, which was the climb to the top is hard, but it's even harder to stay on top. And my question to you on the follow-up was, well, then how are you doing that? How do you stay on top?
I think it's consistency. I think this is actually our 4th year. So this is the first year, our first quad in the program. And so the seniors that are seniors now were here we got here when they were freshmen. Mm-hmm. And so our culture, right, is we've had that full quad. And I think just the consistency, right, and the buy-in from the kids. We have phenomenal leadership, and so even our freshmen coming in, right, they're coming into that lineup and they're stepping up here with the leadership that we have in the program. And I think it's just, right, we stay humble, we stay classy, we stay consistent, and I think that's a recipe for success in itself.
Absolutely. And then the program itself is really taken on a life of its own. You've talked to me about the connectedness that this team has. I mean, you can see it behind these cameras. The people at home can't see it, but, I mean, the whole team is here. Just the atmosphere, being in the wrestling room, and what the girls are like on those road trips. How tight does this group feel?
Man, it's a big family. We're fighting, we're battling for each other. We have a junior high and a JV tournament this weekend, and my varsity girls are like, hey, well, we're showing up, let's have our practice early so we can go support our girls. And it's just things like that when we're out traveling, and I say, most coaches, right, they know technique. So most wrestlers are learning technique, but I think that magic sauce per se is the culture. It's the fact that when they're in there and they're struggling, right, and maybe they don't want to do it for themselves, they look over and there's a partner there that they're willing to do it for. Anytime we're at tournaments, that's what we're having. The coaches are coming up to us and they're like, hey, you guys are having some pretty good success. We see your technique, but what are you doing? How are you guys building this? And I mean, obviously, right, we have a great coaching staff, myself, my husband, Donnie Liles, Coach Anthony Bazzelli, and Greg Evans, and we're all in there. But without the kids' buy-in, it doesn't matter what we're doing. And I think that they want it, right? They want it for themselves, but they want it for each other. They love the culture. They love being a part of something special, something that's not normal. You don't just walk into it and it's there. It's hard work. They're willing to put into it. They're willing to sacrifice for it. And I mean, it shows.
You snuck something kind of small into that answer, was a junior high tournament. And you had told me before that junior high is just kind of starting to really get its legs as a girls wrestling program. And so the program itself is really starting to grow, and the sport itself is really starting to grow. So just from your eyes, what's that like to see the room go from being, a few girls at a time to now you're almost outgrowing your giant wrestling room?
Right. I mean, it's amazing. I think between the two programs, we're pushing close to 70 kids. And so with 70 kids, right, you have 70 families, and you have 70 families of those families. And so it's just amazing to watch the growth. I mean, and when I started wrestling, there were not any girls. And so for me to come in and just to see the growth, I mean, girls wrestling is the fastest growing high school sport in the nation right now. And so even outside of our culture, it's amazing to see the growth, but I tell our girls how blessed we are. You know, we're sitting in this amazing wrestling room, and there's still places in the nation, actually across our own state, and the girls don't even have their own room. So for us to be sitting, 70 deep with our junior high and high school, we're just blessed.
Going across the lineup, let's go to the actual mat now. What makes this team special when they're out there competing?
I think they're passionate, they're consistent, we're disciplined. I always tell them all the time, it's the little things that make a big difference, and it has to matter. And I think that shows if you come in and you watch a practice, right, we're hustling everywhere. When it's time to focus, we're focused. When it's time to go hard, we're going hard. When it's time to work or play, and everybody is on board, but everybody is bought in, and we're all moving in the same direction. My
final question to you is related to family, because you've got your husband on your coaching staff, and you've got your daughter, a freshman, on the team. What's that like, being able to go into the wrestling room and your favorite people are there with you?
It's outstanding, which is a little joke because we went over some mental stuff about that, and it's just kind of a joke when things are going tough, right? You got to talk to yourself, but it's amazing. I mean, it is a family affair. Like I said, Coach Donnie he's amazing to have on the staff, and he connects in a different way with the kids than I do, and so I think we both have a different dynamic to come and bring to the kids. Now, if any parent that coaches their kid comes to you and tells you that's an easy job, they are not telling you the truth. It is difficult. Now, she's an amazing human being, but she's young. She should actually be an 8th grader. She skipped a grade, and so we're struggling in some of those areas, but she's stepped up. I mean, just performance alone as a freshman and is placing at these big tournaments. So it's a family affair. I wouldn't have it any other way. We're all growing. There's things that we can all learn in that process, but it's actually really fun when it's like, okay, hey, we're getting up, we're going to a tournament that you're about to compete in, and we're going to coach you in, and it's fun, but it is a challenge, and we're figuring out how to do it and do it as good as we can.
So let me follow up just real quickly on what is the conversation like at home then? Are you guys talking wrestling, or do you kind of take a breather from it?
It's both. And so I tell parents, right, when they're like, how do I connect with my kid? What do I need to do? And I tell them, if the kid's coming to you and they're bringing it to you, they're ready to talk about it. If a kid comes home and they are avoiding it, leave it alone. They're going to bring it to you when it's ready. So I think there are times where we do a good job on that, but there's also times, right, where that parent-coach overlap, and we know what she's telling us, and we know emotionally what she's wanting. And then as a coach, if I'm seeing something different in the room than what she's telling me, it's hard for me to go, hey. So we're learning. I mean, we're learning as well as she is, and I think it's really good. We have some mat, a little piece of mat down in our house, and so sometimes, it's 9, 10 o'clock, and we were going to go to bed, and now they're in there wrestling around and figuring something out. So it's
normal family activities.
It is. New couches are few and far between but it's great. It's a great dynamic. So
yeah, well, we'll get to hear her perspective on it here in just a little bit. We're going to take a commercial break and come right back with a few of the girls wrestlers joining me here on the set, live here at Buffalo Wild Wings.
All in all, there's not a better place to work.
Working at St. Francis is...
Working at St. Francis is...
Working at St. Francis is...
It's very fulfilling. The work that we do is hard. The work that we do changes people's lives.
It's more than a job.
It's more than a job.
It's more than a job.
It's more than a job. It's a calling.
Hey Tigers, I'm City Manager Michael Spurgeon. The city is preparing for the next general obligation bond election in April of 2026. Just like the improvements to Albany Street in front of the high school, bonds help pay for upgrades to public infrastructure like streets and intersections, public safety services, parks improvements, and more here in our great community. To find out more about the bond process, visit the city website. Thank you for helping us build our future. Broken Arrow, enjoy the rest of the game.
While you are teaching someone special the nuances of keeping the wheel steady, we can provide you means for you to maintain financial equilibrium. First National Bank of Broken Arrow. First people put people first.
Tulsa Bone and Joint, Northeast Oklahoma's sports medicine experts. We are pleased to help you and the athletes in your life with a number of surgical and non-surgical options. Tulsa Bone and Joint is proud to serve as team orthopedist for local high schools such as Broken Arrow, Owasso, Sapulpa, Cascia Hall, and Bishop Kelly. Tulsa Bone and Joint, moving life forward.
Hey Tigers, get the only card that donates to Broken Arrow Public Schools every time you use it. TTCU Federal Credit Union has donated more than $360,000 so far. Support the Tigers with your card today.
Oh, I got my order wrong. This is me, Jessica. And this is Jessica, not my coffee. And my friend said, oh wait, Quick Trip. And she said, you don't have to tell me your name. Please, serve yourself. And I was all, oh, then this happened.
Yeah, someone stole my drink.
That's how I learned Quick Trip has lattes on tap, and I will never have to tell a barista my name again. Quick Trip, raise your coffee bar.
Welcome back live to Buffalo Wild Wings. It's the Uncaged podcast with the girls wrestling team here in the building. Alongside me, I've got Sophia Reese, and her sister down there on the end is Sonora Reese, and then in between is Emily Beckley. And we're going to start with some fun questions. I always feel like that's the best way to go and kind of break the ice a little bit.
Okay.
I think it's more fun when you guys have to pick from your teammates, though. So first question for you all is, who is the funniest teammate you've got, Sonora?
That's a hard question because all of them have just crazy personalities, but if I had to choose, it'd probably be Vanna, because she could pull something crazy out of her pocket and you have no idea when.
Okay. Emily, what's your answer?
I would say Brooklyn Church, or yeah, BKZ67. That's her name.
Okay, Sophia?
For me, it's definitely going to be Kaya Joe, just because she's always she just knows so many things and she watches so many different movies, and so you just never know what she's going to pull out of her pocket either.
Okay. Who is the smartest teammate? Who's the best, maybe in the classroom or just with wrestling, maybe the smartest? Highest IQ, we'll say.
Probably these two down on the end right here. They're pretty smart, both on and off the mat.
Okay. Emily?
I was going to say these two. I was going to say probably Sophia, but Sophia or Sonora.
Yeah, okay. Sophia?
Well,
no pressure.
yeah, not just, I don't want to really, that's why I was going to, they kind of stole my answers. Definitely these two kids, but mainly because they work so hard in the classroom specifically. It really shows. Tiffany Brashear is super smart. She's in a bunch of AP classes as well and is always willing to help you out on that work.
All right, good stuff. Yeah. Who's got the best music taste? Because I assume you guys have some music going at times. So who's playing the best songs?
I'm going to have to say Kaya Joleba back there. Definitely has the best music taste.
Okay, best DJ, right?
Yep.
Emily?
Kaya Joe for sure. We were in Colorado for a tough tournament, and we drove in this van, and she had aux the whole time, and it was just every single day she had aux, and it was just beautiful. It was perfect.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sophia?
I agree. Definitely Kaya Joe. She's been taking over some of our lifting aux, and it's just always super fun. She always has something different, which I think is good to switch it up.
Man, clean sweep for Kaya. Yeah. Okay. Next question is going to be a little bit more, let's go physically. Who's the fastest?
That's a hard question. I would either have to say Alina or Brooklyn Church.
Okay. Emily?
Alina for sure.
All right. Sophia?
Definitely Alina. She's just so tiny. She's all over the place. She's a little spider monkey when you're wrestling her. She can box jump a box that's over her head. It's just ridiculous. She's, super fast.
That's
super
pretty
fast.
impressive. All right. Who's the strongest? We got to go there.
Probably Rayleigh Liles sitting right up there.
All right.
Stupid strong. It's crazy.
Emily?
I don't know.
Herself.
I know.
You can answer yourself.
I want to say Sonora or Kaya. I'm thinking based off of people that I wrestle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sophia?
I would probably, not to glaze Alina, but pound for pound, it's probably going to be Alina. But just overall strength, I got to give it to my sister just because I hand fought with her a couple weeks ago, and I haven't done that since probably beginning of freshman year, and she's definitely gained a lot of strength and body awareness, and she definitely knows how to use it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all my fun questions I've got for you. So let's get into the wrestling stuff now, and I want to pick up with what you just said, actually. So wrestling with your sister, what's that like, being in the locker room with her and then road trips with her, all of that sort of stuff?
Yeah, definitely the head-to-head wrestling. We keep it super fun with Sonora, at least. It's always super lighthearted and fun. You know, we always joke around. We also do jiu-jitsu. I haven't been in there in a little bit, but we also have that dynamic where we're just kind of flowing and we roll. Really off the mat, we're pretty good. I would say we do get into a little tiff sometimes, but that's just sisterly love, and I think something needs to be done better, and she doesn't. So that's really, we're pretty, me and Sonora at least are pretty good. I have a youngest sister in the middle school program, and we're a lot more alike, so we butt heads a little bit more, but we're still pretty good. I don't wrestle her as much because she is in junior high, but that would definitely be an interesting dynamic to explore.
Okay. Sonora, what are your thoughts on it?
I definitely think along the similar lines. Me and Sophia are pretty good working together, and she definitely pushes me to be the best person on and off the mat. And we do try to keep it as fun as possible just to keep the competitiveness out of the way, because all three of us tend to be very competitive, just to make sure we're having fun. So
awesome. Emily, you don't have a sister officially on the team, but the team is like sisters to you, I would imagine, because I've heard how close-knit this team is. So take me through that, just the team chemistry that you guys have and what it's like being a part of this group.
Well, I think the biggest thing is, you see us all around here, but, we're not just hanging around at practice. We see each other probably every day out of the week almost, and the days we don't see each other for practice, we see each other at places like this. We're going and hanging out with each other. We're going to get food. We're going and having sleepovers. And I think that's really important, and that's what makes it. Coach Tori was talking about it earlier, just our culture. That's just we can drill anything all day in our room, but I'm telling you, that's the biggest part, and that's why we're being so successful right now is the culture, and it's because there's no other way to say it, but we like each other. We all just really like each other, and that's what I think makes it so easy to have success is when you're all on the same page. So,
do you feel like when you have that team dynamic that can kind of carry over onto the mat a little bit?
Yes, for sure. There is. I can think of multiple experiences in my head just where. I know how it feels to be out there on the mat and be in a difficult situation, but I also know how it feels to be in a difficult situation and be able to look over and not just see our coaches, but you see a whole line of people wearing the same warm-ups with their hair done, and I don't know, there's just a feeling that you can't really explain, that you just get that extra bit of gas because you see the people that you love and that you suffer with when no one sees it, and then you get to win when everyone sees it.
Yeah.
So
you just mentioned the warm-ups and looking off to the side, so I just got to thinking, is your pre-match process, what's your routine like, Sophia, and what are you doing beforehand? Are you kind of secluded by yourself, or are you with your teammates? How's that go?
Yeah, so definitely my freshman year, I tried to everybody puts on their headphones, and I found that kind of, I psyched myself out a little bit. So now I definitely get in some candy or honey before my matches. I try to really interact with my teammates because they always make me laugh, and just so that I keep it lighthearted and fun. At the end of the day, I do this because it's fun, not because I just like winning. And so that's really what I try to focus on going into my matches. So I'm definitely talking to Tiffany out there. She always makes me laugh. I always try to talk to one of my coaches before my matches just to remember what the goal is, to go out there and be my best.
Absolutely. Emily, what's your pre-match process like?
If you would have asked me freshman year, I would have said just put my headphones on and kind of walk back and forth. But there's a lot of things I learned about myself going into my sophomore year, and it worked sophomore year, and I became successful because of that. And so I think that now, I gotta be it's just something for myself. I just gotta smile. I gotta smile because I do this because I like it. When the whistle blows, I know when to do my job. But until then, I'm smiling, I'm relaxed, and I've had people come up and tell me, I'm like, why do you kind of look like you don't care sometimes? Of course I care, but I just go out there and everyone says it, but I just have fun. I just want to go out there and have fun. And so I put my headphones on sometimes, and I listen to happy music. I listen to different Disney music soundtracks and stuff like that, and just
Nice.
to make me happy. And then, when it's time to go, it's time to go. But until then, I want to enjoy it. So
I feel like that's a pretty harsh switch to go from let it go or something to then going and winning a wrestling match. But whatever works for your process works for your process. Sonora, what about you?
So freshman year, I was kind of all over the place. I did something a little different each time. But this year, I'm starting to do a lot more affirmations before my match, just making sure I'm calm and I know that I'm looking for full effort and not just the win. And so typically, I'll just sit there making sure like my heart isn't beating too fast. And then about a match before is when I'll get my warm-ups off and really start getting some hard bouncing in. And then I'll step on the mat ready to go.
Awesome. You guys are all really accomplished already, and only one senior here, but going through your accolades, Sophia will start here, 2025 state qualifier, second in the J Border Wars, fifth at Wonder Woman. So you guys are flying through it already really at the midway point nearing the end of your season. So just take me through how this season has gone for you and what you've seen yourself do that you're really proud of, or something that maybe you feel like is an area that you need to work on, anything like that. Just summarize where you're at for me.
Yeah, at the moment, I'm really just trying to focus on remembering that I'm blessed to be here. Being my season, I had a little bit of knee scares. I had a little surgery, not too big, so I was just out for a couple weeks, but that was pretty daunting. So right now, I'm just got to remember that I worked super hard to be here. You know, I've poured into this program for 4 years now, and I just remember that I'm super blessed to be here and that this is kind of my last year to do what I need to do, not only on the mat, but also pour back into these girls.
For these first few matches that you've had, whether it be through those out-of-state tournaments or against Edmond North on Tuesday, however those matches have gone, what have you seen out of yourself that, you know, you're really proud of, or something that you say, you know what, I think I've done really well with this or that?
Yeah, so I think I've done better than other years before my matches, not psyching myself out as much. And again, just remembering that I'm super blessed to be here and being like calm about it and almost satisfied with like where I'm at, and yeah.
Okay. Emily, junior, but you were 2025 state champion, ranked 14th at 145 nationally. That's pretty impressive. First in the J Border Wars and second at Iron Woman, first at Wonder Woman. So that's pretty impressive right there. That's a good resume to have. Same kind of question to you, where you're at right now. What's something maybe you're proud of? What's something you're looking at? Okay, I got to improve on this or that. Just take me through where you feel like you are right now.
I mean, I'm super grateful. Like, every kind of, again, what Coach was saying earlier, I noticed just like, we're looking at what's right in front of us. We can't look ahead. And so I think that's the biggest thing for me is obviously I have my aspirations of at the end of the season being a two-time. And so, but I have a lot of work to do before I get there. I have a lot of duels, a lot of tournaments. And so I think this first semester, I mean, you just listed it, but we had a lot of our like really tough tournaments, and a lot of those, we didn't get a lot of state competition, right? And we were getting a lot of competition regionally and nationally, which is incredible. And obviously, in some ways, a lot tougher. And so I think that, like, I'm glad I got that kind of over with, you know. That's a really tough part of the season, and I think now that that's over and I feel like prepared, and now these rest of the, basically everything else we have except Pennsylvania, which is gonna be fun, but basically everything else we have is in Oklahoma, right? And so we're facing the state competition, we're facing the people that we're gonna see at regionals and at state. So I think now it's just not quite, but we're coming to like our peaking process, and so I'm really, really proud of myself for where I'm at, but I have a lot of things I still just need to work on for myself, because at the end of the day, that's my goal for myself is to be better than I was the day before. And so I think a lot of like mental review and film review, just looking back at what I need to change in my work ethic. And so I'm really excited, though. I'm excited to get through these duels and the last couple things. Then we get to go up to Pennsylvania, and then we get to come back and do what we need to do at regionals and state, which is the best part. So
yeah, and you've been able to get to the mountaintop at state and be a state champion. So my question to you here is a two-parter. The first one is, I've seen the clip of you putting the tiara on. Take me through that and what your emotions were like in that moment, what you were thinking in that moment. And then secondly, for you this year, what's it going to take for you to get back to that stage?
Well, I mean, the plan is a 2-time. I'm going to go out there and do what I need to do, and I can't wait to put that crown back on. But that moment, it was super special because it was emotional because I know what had happened freshman year, and freshman year was a learning curve. It's always a learning curve, and you know what? Some kids just come out on top freshman year, but it's hard, and I didn't come out on top. And so I think sophomore year was like extremely like I got it back, you know, and putting that crown, like, so head coach didn't know, assistant coach knew. I told him that I had it under the chair for you know, afterwards, and
Did
so
your teammates know?
My teammates didn't know. He was the only one that knew, and he put that on, and so it was my little sister's. She was in the stands and started getting extremely upset because I stole it from her room. But it's just a feeling. Being able to go out there and get your hand raised and get to like incorporate things you love, like fun things like that, like a tiara. It's something so simple, but it's just like, how cool is that? And I'm gonna go do everything I can so that I can put that back on, and get to hold up the number 2. So
absolutely. Sonora, for you, your resume looks pretty good as well. Sophomore, but you're third at the 2025 state tournament, first in J Border Wars, second in the Iron Woman, 8th at Wonder Woman. So some great finishes already. Same question to you is, where do you feel like you're at right now?
Right now, I feel like I'm doing pretty good at staying consistent in what I'm doing and just taking it day by day and not looking forward to the future and thinking about how many things I need to do instead of thinking about what can I do today to get better for tomorrow, and just taking it one step by one step. And so that's just really the thing I've been focusing on, because I wrestle best when I just don't really care about the future and whether I'm going to get my hand raised or not, and I just go out there and just let go, and really I don't remember anything after, and that's how I know I did well and I wrestled well.
How hard is that to do, to just kind of let go and go out and perform and quit thinking about what else is around it, if that makes sense?
It's pretty hard. I've been doing better about it this year just because I've gotten the process down a little bit, and I just trust in my training a little bit more and trust that I've done enough to get to the point where I'm needing to be. But as always, I still have a few mental blocks in the way that I just continue to journal about and to continue to speak about to get through.
That's really good. My last question is for Sophia, because tomorrow's senior night, and so just for you, what does that feel like? Are you emotional about it, or are you kind of like, you know what, I'm ready to get out of high school?
No, I'm definitely ready to get out of high school, but definitely not out of this team. I'm a senior, so I've poured into these girls for so long. So I really just want to, like, when I leave, I want to know that I've done as much as I can for the girls, culture-wise.
It's a really good message to end on. So we'll take a commercial break and come right back here at Buffalo Wild Wings with the girls wrestling team right after this break.
All in all, there's not a better place to work.
Working at St. Francis is...
Working at St. Francis is...
Working at St. Francis is...
It's very fulfilling. The work that we do is hard. The work that we do changes people's lives.
It's more than a job.
It's more than a job.
It's more than a job.
It's more than a job. It's a calling.
Hey Tigers, I'm City Manager Michael Spurgeon. The city is preparing for the next general obligation bond election in April of 2026. Just like the improvements to Albany Street in front of the high school, bonds help pay for upgrades to public infrastructure like streets and intersections, public safety services, park improvements, and more here in our great community. To find out more about the bond process, visit the city website. Thank you for helping us build our future. Broken Arrow, enjoy the rest of the game.
While you are teaching someone special the nuances of keeping the wheel steady, we can provide you means for you to maintain financial equilibrium. First National Bank of Broken Arrow. First people put people first.
Tulsa Bone and Joint, Northeast Oklahoma's sports medicine experts. We are pleased to help you and the athletes in your life with a number of surgical and non-surgical options. Tulsa Bone and Joint is proud to serve as team orthopedist for local high schools such as Broken Arrow, Owasso, Sapulpa, Cascia Hall, and Bishop Kelly. Tulsa Bone and Joint, moving life forward.
Hey Tigers, get the only card that donates to Broken Arrow Public Schools every time you use it. TTCU Federal Credit Union has donated more than $360,000 so far. Support the Tigers with your card today.
Oh, I got my order wrong. This is me, Jessica. And this is
Jessica?
not my coffee. And my friend said, oh wait, Quick Trip. And she said, you don't have to tell me your name. Please, serve yourself. And I was all, oh, then this happened.
Yeah, someone stole my drink.
That's how I learned Quick Trip has lattes on tap, and I will never have to tell a barista my name again. Quick Trip, raise your coffee bar.
Welcome back live on Uncaged to Buffalo Wild Wings. We have the girls wrestling team in the house tonight. Excited for this one. We have Rayleigh Liles in the middle here. She's a freshman. Down on the end is Tiffany Brashear. She's a junior. And our senior up here this time around is Kristen De La Rosa. You guys are in a great position right now as far as the season goes. But before we get into all of that, we've got to ask the fun questions. And now you guys have gotten a little bit of an advantage because you've had time to think. So
Yeah.
The first question is, who's the funniest teammate? And Tiffany, we'll start with you.
To me, I think the funniest teammate is definitely Miley. She's always throwing something at me that I'm not expecting, and it's really, really funny.
Okay, Rayleigh, your answer?
I'd probably have to, she's actually not here today, but I'd probably say Jalen Stanton because
Okay.
she's just very random and she's very mean, but she does it in a really funny way.
Okay, let's go, Kristen.
I would definitely say Miley too. She is, her jokes are very niche. I like them.
Okay, let's go. Let's skip the smart question. Let's just go to the best DJ. Who's got the best music taste, Tiffany?
I think Kaya Joe probably has the best music taste. It's definitely a wide variety, so she gets a little bit of everything in there, and it's pretty similar to mine for a lot of the genres, so I definitely think she always has the right vibe.
Okay, Rayleigh?
I definitely have to say Emily Beckley because she does the aux in the weight room while we're lifting, and she usually plays some pretty good bangers.
Okay, Kristen?
Kaya Joe, hands down.
Okay.
She has a very wide variety of music, so something for everybody.
She got 5 of the 6 votes tonight. You were the only one that didn't pick Kaya Joe, so might have a little bit of a quarrel there. Who is the fastest on the team, Tiffany?
I think the fastest on the team is definitely Alina, our 105-pounder. She is the definition of speed. She beats everyone in sprints, even though her legs are half as long as some of us taller girls. I don't know how she does it. She's definitely fast.
Rayleigh?
Yeah, definitely Alina. She's really scrappy. I hand fight with her a lot, and it's like trying to catch the snitch in Harry Potter. Like, you can't see her.
Kristen?
Definitely Alina. I wrestle her all the time, and it's impossible to get my hands on her to keep her down.
So let me follow up with this then. Who's the best hand fighter on the team? Is it Alina? Tiffany?
I would probably say the best hand fighter is Sonora. I feel like she is always pushing the pace, and she's definitely pretty strong, so trying to fight back in some of those positions is very difficult, so she's very aggressive.
Okay, Rayleigh?
I was going to say Sonora as well. It's very hard to hand fight with someone who doesn't give you any space, so she does push the pace a lot.
Okay. Kristen?
I'd say Sophia Reese. She is always in your face. She does not back up.
Okay, so hand fighting with the Reese family is going to be pretty tough, is what I'm hearing.
Definitely.
Okay. Last question for you guys is, who's the strongest, Tiffany?
I would probably say the strongest is, pound for pound, I would say Alina. She has that ant strength. She's very small, but she can move some weight in the weight room and move me in the wrestling room. She has some strong muscles.
Okay, Rayleigh.
You keep stealing my answers, maybe. I was also going to say Alina. I mean, I've seen her box jump almost twice her size. She deadlifts almost as much as I do. I mean, it's kind of crazy. She's like an ant.
Wow. All right, Kristen.
Yes, I agree with them. Alina, she's crazy strong.
Okay, well, let's get into the season now. Again, I rattled these off at the start, but 2025 state champions, number 2 nationally, first J Border Wars, first Iron Woman, first in Wonder Woman, 75-6 was the score for Edmond North's duels. So you guys are just flying right through it. My first question, and I'll give this to you, Kristen, is just when you guys are riding so high, how hard is it to kind of stay humble and stay in the moment to focus on every single match?
It gets challenging at times, but I feel like it's harder because last year, once we won state, all year we were getting told nobody cares, work harder. It's always the next match that matters. Once we won state, it was very hard to focus and actually truly celebrate how crazy our season was.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's harder than trying to stay humble all season.
Do you still try to celebrate the wins that you guys have throughout the season, just whether it be those tournaments or just in the single duel? Do you still try to take those moments to reflect on them?
Yeah, we're told to celebrate it like that night and the next day, but after that, nobody cares.
That's right. Okay. Well, that philosophy trickles down from Ms. Tori Liles, and that is mom for you, Rayleigh. So let's go to you with this question: is what's it like being coached by mom, but also being coached by dad?
It's definitely a very interesting dynamic because it's harder to take the advice, good or bad, from your coaches when they're also your parents, and sometimes it feels like you can't really get away from them, but I think that in a lot of ways that's a good thing. And also, it's just really fun to be able to, like, I'll have a wrestling question at home, and my dad will be like, okay, well, let's just go get the mat. And then we'll sit there, and we end up going live matches, and I get absolutely destroyed, but it's always fun.
What are text conversations like? Are you guys sending, wrestling stuff to each other back and forth?
I usually don't have to text them because they're probably right next to me. So.
I guess that's true. You're not at the age where you're driving it, so you may not be separated, so you're probably still getting rides too, so that would do it. Well, let me ask you this then. What are the car rides like when you leave a duel or something like that, or you're leaving from a road trip and you're on your way home finally? So what's that like?
It's really cool to see the behind the scenes of what they do, because a lot of people might think that, I know, like, it's just wrestling and when they're at these tournaments, when they're at practice, and that just turns off when we go home, and it doesn't. On the car ride home, it's always, do you see how good this person did, and this is what we need to work on, and we'll go over this the next practice, and it's never ending, but it's cool to see.
Yeah, and talking about that support for each other and seeing each other succeed, Tiffany, talking about how close this team is, for you being a part of this group, what's it like?
I think being a part of this group is just an amazing opportunity in general. I've been with this program since 7th grade, and just like watching it grow with our coaches and all the teammates that have come up with me and that have been here longer than I have, it's really cool to see how close we can all get to each other, because it truly is like a family. Like, I consider all of these girls my sisters. Though we do have our moments, everyone argues, we're teenage girls, but like, I wouldn't rather have any other team in the world. Like, being around these girls is my favorite place.
And seeing the growth of the team to really the size that it is now, and as Coach Liles had said to me, is you're almost outgrowing your space. You've got so many bodies in there now. Mm-hmm. Just seeing the evolution of the sport and where it's at, how has that, been reflective in this Broken Arrow program? Like, is it kind of I guess a window into where girls wrestling is at?
Oh, for sure. It definitely is. We started, or this program many years ago started in what was a weight room, and it was very small, just barely could fit 2 mats. And then eventually we were able to move up to a 4-mat room, which is like, that's showing some progress. And then now we have this huge facility all for us. It's crazy. And that definitely shows how much this sport is growing. I mean, it's one of the fastest growing sports in America. And it's just really cool to see how much bigger it has gotten in just such a small amount of time.
Absolutely. Well, I went through how the team has done so far this season, but let's get into the individual stuff. Kristen De La Rosa right here was a 2025 state champion, so that's pretty awesome. And this season you've gotten to the 2nd place in the J Border Wars. So season so far for you, summarize it for me and where you feel like you're at.
It's been a lot coming back as a returning state champion. it's like a lot of pressure on me, I feel like, and especially being a senior. So it's been a lot of mental training for me and trying to figure out everything mentally, what I need to do to get to that next level for me.
Yeah, absolutely. As we turn things over to Miss Rayleigh Liles, freshman, but you finished third 2025 junior high state, fourth J Border Wars, third Iron Woman, fifth Wonder Woman. So good start for you as well, especially for being a freshman. So let me start with that. Is just as a freshman, adjusting to the varsity level, how's that been?
It's been challenging. It's definitely not for the weak, but I knew that there was going to be a lot of obstacles coming in. I mean, for one, I'm supposed to be in 8th grade, so not only are these girls older than me because I'm a freshman, they're older than me because I'm supposed to be in junior high, and there's definitely a difference between kid strength and women's strength, and I've had to deal with that. And then, I mean, even just body awareness is very different as you get older, and those are some of the things I've had to navigate.
And then summarizing where you're at so far in your season, how do you feel like you've fared?
I think I've done pretty good, but I try to focus on the next match because the most important match is the next one. But I'm really excited for these next tournaments and the duels that are coming up because I think this is when all the girls start to peak, and that's when all the cool stuff starts to happen.
Absolutely. Tiffany, you're a junior. You were 2025 state finalist, first in the J Border Wars, second at Wonder Woman. So a couple of nice things under your belt there. Going into this season, how have you felt so far? And let me follow up with a second part here is, how do you get back to being a state finalist and hopefully this time a state champion?
Yeah, I felt pretty good so far. I definitely feel like those beginning of the season jitters, just like a lot of mental training to get to where you need to go and trusting the process, which we say a lot in our room. But I feel like I've gotten to where I need to be right now, and I'm just focusing on where I need to be later. And there is some pressure being a returning finalist, but I think as long as I keep doing what I'm doing and just focus on training and stamina and everything, that I'll get there again, hopefully.
Yeah, talking about the pressure, Coach Liles has talked about it as being a target on your backs, and knowing that being the number 2 team nationally, being the returning state champions, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to have it out for you and want to wrestle their best matches against Broken Arrow. So from your perspective, do you feel like that's some added pressure to you all? Do you feel that target on your back, or do you just kind of wrestle freely?
I think that target is always going to be there, no matter what tournament we go to, no matter what duel. Of course, we're state champions and number 2 in the country, but overall, I feel like we've fared pretty well at staying calm and like knowing that other people are trying to knock us off because everyone wants the underdog to win, of course. But truly, I think the pressure is manageable, and I don't think it's ever too overwhelming.
Yeah, and you guys headed to Pennsylvania here pretty soon, ranked number 2 nationally and number 1 team nationally. Will also be there in Pennsylvania. You guys will get to wrestle against some of those girls. So just take me through the excitement level to have this number 1 versus number 2 on a huge stage, Kristen.
Well, I am beyond excited. We weren't sure if we were going to actually be able to do this until I think about 2 weeks ago, maybe not even. So once we all found out that we were able to, we have been beyond excited, have been pushing ourselves, I feel like, even more in the room. We know that we are deserving of that number 1 spot. So we're trying to do everything that we can so we don't have any regrets and can go out there and compete as hard as we can.
Go out and prove it, right? That's what it's all about. So before you get there, though, tomorrow, senior night against Sand Springs. So you're the lone senior up here. I'll ask you, what are the emotions like?
You know, it's weird. I could have sworn I was just a freshman yesterday with these new coaches that are from Colorado. They're kind of weird or whatever. But I love the what's the word? The culture.
There you go.
The culture that they've created. I feel like they've grown me to be such a better person and to truly find myself. It's going to be emotional, like very happy, very sad. Not ready to leave this team yet.
Yeah, well, you guys still have a lot of matches to go, so we're not quite to the very end, but at least being able to celebrate the senior class tomorrow will be a lot of fun. Thank you guys for being up here, and thank you all to the girls wrestling team for being here at Buffalo Wild Wings, and thank you for tuning in here on Uncaged. Next week, we'll be back at Buffalo Wild Wings, and we'll have the swim team, so we'll see you then.